Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayed nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhag sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki durlabho manusho deho dehinam sharnbhangurai तत्रापि दुर्लभं मन्ये वैकुण्ठ प्रियदर्शिनः गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रिये Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you again for joining. We are reading Canto 8 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter 20, and we read till text number 32, I believe.
33 up to, from 34 today.
33. Correct. Did we read about the associates? Sunanda, accompanied by the predominating deity's helmet. I don't think we read that. We read about the weapons for sure, right? I don't think we read about the Sunandan, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, probably I'm wrong.
We'll read again. No worries.
Yeah,
One
sure.
that we read. Quick quiz. What's the name of Krishna's the bow?
Sharanga.
Sharanga. The sword?
Vidyadhara.
Vidyadhara. The conch?
Panchajanya.
Very nice. And then anyone else would say the club?
Kamodaki.
Kamodaki. Yes, very nice. And there's a special quiver which contains the arrows. Anyone knows?
Akshay Ashoka.
Akshay Sayaku. Akshay Sayaka. Akshay Sayaka. Akshay means that it doesn't, there is no shy. It's unending. Okay. And the chakra?
Sudarshan chakra.
Wonderful. Even by meditating upon the weapons of the Lord, we'll be protected. So we'll read text 32 onwards. 32 and 33 are together. Gant Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sunanda Mukhyo Upatastur Isham Parshada Mukhya Sahalo Kapala Spruhat Kirtangada Meena Kundala Srivatsa No Tama Meka Lambara Madhuvrata Shrig Vanamala Ya Vrito Raja Rajan Bhagavan Guru Krama Shitam Padaikena Bale Vichakrame Naba Sharirena Dishascha Bahubi. Please, everybody, excuse me for my mistakes. These associates, headed by Sunanda and other chief associates and accompanied by all the predominating deities of the various planets, offered prayers to the Lord, who wore a brilliant helmet, bracelets, and glittering jewelry that resembled fish. On the Lord's bosom were the locks of hair called Srivatsa and the transcendental jewel named Kaustuba. He wore a yellow garment covered by a belt, and he was decorated by a flower garland surrounded by bees. Manifesting himself in this way, O King, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose activities are wonderful, covered the entire surface of the earth with one footstep, the sky with his body, and all directions with his arms. Purport. One might argue, since Bali Maharaja promised Vamanadeva only the land occupied by his steps, why did Lord Vamanadeva occupy the sky also? In this regard, Silajiva Goswami says that the steps including everything downward and upward. When one stands up, he certainly occupies certain part of the sky and certain portion of the earth below his feet. Thus, there was nothing uncommon for the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he occupied the entire sky with his body. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you. Please explain.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So there is very vivid description of Vamandev's transcendental body, which is like the Virat Rupa. So 23 to 29, we discussed that how the Virat Rupa represented the different aspects. And then we discuss about the weapons. And then we discuss in this verse about the brilliant helmet, about the Srivatsa, the hair and the chest, about the jewel named Kaustuba. Everything is very personal. Anyone has any jewels which you have named them? Supreme Lord has shark-shaped earrings, or here we see fish-shaped earrings, which resemble Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam, swinging to and fro. And then the gopis are thinking, well, the earrings are more fortunate. They are touching Krishna's cheeks. And we are so unfortunate. So the garlands, Vaijayanti Mala. Krishna is one mala. He wears a garland. Gale sohe Vaijayanti Mala. Ya chavi ki giridhari radhe sham sham sham. Surrounded by bumblebees. Now Krishna is surrounded by bumblebees. Why? Because Krishna wears flower garlands. And the bees are attracted to the nectar. What could be the bigger nectar than the Supreme Lord? Manoram. His name is Ram. His name is Krishna. All attractive. So the bees come. And Prabhupada mentions that bees, when they come and seeing the form of the Lord, that means the Lord has been beautifully dressed. It's a good sign. And therefore, the devotees fan the Lord, so that to shoo away the bees, because they don't want the Lord to be disturbed. So in this way, the beautiful features of the Lord are described, very, very personal and very, very nice. And then how he kind of expanded and pretty much covered everything in one step. Covered the entire surface of the earth and the sky with just one step. That is the Supreme Lord. So now we will see the next and the last verse of this chapter, which is text 34. Punah Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sure. Dandavat Pranam. Padam Dvitiyam Kramat Strivistapam Navai Tritiyaya Dadi Maya Dadi Navapi Uru Kramasya Angri Rupa Riyu Paryato Maharaja vyam tapasa param gataha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. As the Lord took his second step, he covered the heavenly planets, and not even a spot remained on the third step, for the Lord's foot extended higher and higher, beyond Maharloka, Janloka, Tapaloka, and even Satyaloka. Purport. When the Lord's footstep exceeded the height of all the lokas, including Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka, his nails certainly pierced the covering of the universe. The universe is covered by 5 material elements: Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kama. As stated in the Shastra, these elements are in layers, each 10 times thicker than the previous ones. Nonetheless, the nails of the Lord pierced through all these layers and made a hole penetrating into spiritual world. From this hole, the water of Ganges infiltrated into the material world, and therefore it is said Pada Nakha Nira Janita Jana Pavana dasavatara stotra 5. Because the Lord kicked a hole in the covering of the universe, the water of Ganges came into this material world to deliver all the fallen souls. Thus, end of Bhaktivedanta purport of 8th Canto, 12th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Bali Maharaj Surrenders the Universe. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Any comments, Mataji?
I would rather listen to you, Prabhuji, this one.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So who knows the 5th shloka of the Dasavatara stotra? Anyone knows?
I know.
Yes, please tell. Oh.
Alaya Shibikira Mane Boli Modbhuta Bhaman Padana Nirajonita Jana Pavan Keshavadrita Bhamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Good ball. Thank you. So now everyone will know. Okay, this is your homework. Chala Yasi. Jyoti Mataji, you were saying something? Sorry.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Please go ahead.
Does your daughter want to recite it? Is that correct?
No, Prabhuji.
Hmm?
She's still asleep.
Okay. Chala Yasi. Chala means trickery. Lord Raman came as a little boy, but he tricked Bali Maharaj. Even if Lord tricks, it's for the benefit of the devotee or anyone. Vikrama. He became so big. There, the word used here is Urukrama. Urukrama is also the name of Vamandev. Urukrama means who performed uncommon activities. Very, very big. It's another sign that anyone who claims to be God, can they compete with the Lord in high jump? They may jump maybe 2 meters, 3 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters. I don't know how much. 20 meters? Can anyone jump more than that? Right? No. They may use a pole to get a little further high. What is that called? Pole vault? And jump maybe 50 meters. But no one can jump. Or one may say, well, I'll go in the sky and do skydiving. How much can they jump? 1 mile, 2 mile? But the Lord in the second step covered all the the Maharjana Tapa Satya Loka and grazed the surface of this thumb, this toe, nail, and the water, the Ganges water started to come, wash the Lord's feet. Can anyone do that? No one can do that. Balim Adbhuta, so he kind of tricked Bali. Adbhuta Vamana, this Brahmana boy, Batu. Padanakha Nirajanita Jana Pavana. Pada, the lotus feet, Nakha, the nail, Nira, the water, Janita Jana Pavana. So why? For the purification, Pavana, Patita Pavana, for the purification of the people in this world. The Lord does, like for one thing, the Lord will do multiple pastimes. He took the kingdom from Bali, at the same time made arrangement. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam. He took the kingdom, at the same time made arrangement for the purification of the whole world by bringing Mother Ganga. Keshavadhrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So we can remember this. Chalaya se vikramane balim adbhuta vamana padanakha nirajanita jana pavana keshavadhrita vamana rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So we just kind of paraphrase the translation as well. So we just discuss that. So that's about Vamande, the last verse of this chapter. And we have discussed in the Bhagavatam, Canto 5, that these layers, they're not just like, you go to from press button of lift and go from one floor to the other. It's not like we go like that to Maharloka, Janaloka. They are higher planets. You can't just go like that. And they are millions and millions of miles above. So you cannot imagine the size of the body of the Lord. In 1 feet, in just one kind of go, he covered all these planetary systems. So very, very powerful. Urukrama, Vikrama. So let's kind of do a quick recap of this chapter. Chapter 20, entitled Bali Maharaj Surrenders the Universe. So in the last chapter, which was entitled Vamande Begs Charity from Bali Maharaj, there are a lot of wonderful verses about satisfaction and giving charity in the last chapter. In this chapter, basically, Bali Maharaj was told by Shukracharya to not give charity, but Bali Maharaj gives multiple reasons to give charity. And Shukracharya told that, well, if you disobey your guru and give charity, then you will lose everything. So 9 reasons he gave. And then Bali Maharaj gave further 9 reasons to give charity. Number 1, if someone wants to take notes, the glory of Prahlad Maharaj. I am the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. And my nature is to be favorable to the Lord. So how can I kind of, out of just some greed, out of vitta lobhena, how can I not give charity to this great Brahmana? How can I cheat a devotee, a Brahmana, or the devotee of the Lord? So he had received special mercy of Prahlad Maharaj, we remember, the garland Prahlad Maharaj had given. Number 2, it is sin of a lie. Mother Earth cannot tolerate the burden. So there is nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. Mother Earth can, tolerate a lot of things, but not a sinful person. Number 3, fear of cheating a Brahmana. If one cheats a Brahmana, a devotee of the Lord, then we'll go to hellish planets, poverty, distress, etc. And then number 4, the 4th reason, everything is temporary. even if it will go away, but ultimately it will go away anyways, in the time of death, or even before that. Number 5, there are a lot of examples of people like the Dichi, like Shivi Maharaj, who have given their own lives for the sake of giving charity. Number 6, the fame, time will destroy everything, but the great souls are known by their qualities, not by the number of years they live, not by the number of dollars they had in the time of living, but what they did, how much charity they did. That is the real fame. Number 7, it is very, very rare, rarity of charity. It is very, very rare to give charity. Many men have laid down their lives in the war, in the battlefield, and they may be a little famous. But to give everything to the service of a Brahmana, that's very rare. So, then number 8, poverty is auspicious, sorry. Poverty is auspicious in the sense one can call the Lord with great feeling. One who thinks of is puffed up with knowledge, wealth, beauty, etc. One cannot call with feeling. One thinks, I have a lot of wealth. Why do I need to kind of surrender to someone? I can do anything I want. I can get anything I want. I have servants. I have money. I have job. I have family. I have this and that. So the glory of poverty is described. And of course, we often see how wealth corrupts and how wealth disturbs and how wealth becomes an obstacle. Mata Kunti also says. Number 9, Lord Vishnu has himself come. The goal of all the scriptures is what? To please Vishnu. So, that's the true thing. To please Kṛṣṇa, to please Vishnu. He is the highest. And if he himself has come, then why not? So, like that, we Prabhu, unmuted.
Oh, Salroji.
I thought you wanted to say something. Okay. So text 13, till text 13 we discuss multiple reasons. And then Bali Maharaj kind of agrees, and then we discuss about his determination, that he was very, very determined. His life was at stake, his property was at stake, his whole fame and everything was at stake. His guru was at stake. His guru had practically cursed him. And in the first verse, I think we discussed the great lesson. I think Prabhupada mentioned, now I'm able to recall. The contrasting nature of Shukracharya and Bali Maharaj. One had pure love for Kṛṣṇa, one was just a ritualistic smarta Brahmana. One did not want to offer anything to the Lord, one wanted to offer everything to the Lord. So Shukracharya did not encourage Bali. If he would have been a right guru, he would have encouraged Bali to surrender. But he did not have love for Godhead. He had a lot of knowledge, jnana, but no realization. So Bali Maharaj was not disturbed. He watched Vindhyavali came, his good wife, with a golden pot of water. So the wife was also equally great. And then we discussed that how the reciprocal relationship to help each other. The wife could have said, hey, at least keep something for me. At least don't give everything. But she didn't say like that. What will happen to me? Where will we go out? Where will we go for our vacation? You're giving the vacation money also, right? We have to go out. We have to buy this. We have to buy that. And what will happen to our children? What will happen to our home? Where will we live? Will we live on the road? She didn't say all that. She encouraged, very good point. She encouraged the husband to perform dharma, real dharma, not Kaitaba dharma, Sanatan dharma. The real dharma is dharma sunishtita pumsam vishwaksena kathasuya nat padyadirate shrama eva hi kevalam. That dharma which does not awaken love for God is futile. What is real dharma? Sam siddhir haritoshanam. To please Kṛṣṇa, to please Vishnu. And then all the Gandharvas, Charanas, Kinnaras, everyone, they were like beating kettle drums and playing drums, and everyone was very, very happy, glorifying. Wow, all glories to this wonderful couple. So glorious, so glorious. And then Lord Vamandev starts to increase his size until the Virat Rupa was there. Bali Maharaj could see the Virat Rupa, being a pure devotee. His soles were like the lower planets, Rasatal. His arms were like the demigods. His hair were like the clouds, nostril like the winds, eyes like the sun, hips like the Bali and the associates, navel like the sky, bosom like the cluster of stars, lips like the greed, touch like the lusty desires, neck like the Vedas, and all that. Shadow like death, irreligion, the back of the law, nails like the stones. Like that, he kept expanding. Then we talk about the weapons we discussed today: Sudarshan Chakra, Panchajanya, the bow, the Sharanga, Kaumuduki, the club, Vaidyadhara, the sword, the Akshay Sayaka, the quiver, and the moon-like shield. And then we talk about the beauty of the Lord: his helmet, his earrings, his kundala, Srivatsa, Kaustuba, mala, etc. And then the first step, the Lord covered the everything, and then the second step, the Lord covered the upper planets as well. In that, Chalayasi Vikramane Bali Adbhuta Vamana Padanakha Nirajanita Jana Pavana Keshavadhrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare. This is a short summary of chapter 20 of Bhagavatam, Canto 8. Anyone has any comments, additions, reflections, thoughts? The last few minutes, we can take those. Anyone? Anything struck you in this chapter, really inspired you?
Prabhuji, one quick maybe clarification. Is it because of the Prahlad Maharaj's devotion, we can see that a devotee like Bali Maharaj had come in that hereditary, Prabhuji?
That's certainly one of the reasons, for sure. Yes, it may not be the only reason, but it is certainly one of the important reasons. When a family is given good samskaras by the parents and the grandparents, it certainly is very, very favorable. But it may not be the only reason, because Prahlad Maharaj came in the family of Hiranyakashipu. So, but yes, it was, and we did see that how Prahlad Maharaj blessed Bali. So yes, it is a very important factor.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else wants to share or ask or tell anything? Nandini Mataji, want to say something?
Oh, you very nicely explained everything. I just was trying to say that we read that Prahlad Maharaj had taught principles of devotional service to Bali Maharaj, and I was trying to find that reference either in this chapter or last chapter. So I had unmuted, but I didn't find it.
Can you repeat? I missed the point. Prahlad Maharaj had
Taught him principle of devotional service. I think it's neither in last chapter or this chapter, but I couldn't find it. You very nicely covered the summary, Prabhu. I don't have anything to add. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share or tell or ask anything? Was Bali Maharaj sadhana siddha or kripa siddha?
It says Kripa Siddha.
Kripasita. Yes, we discussed that in text number 3. Mhm. Okay, wonderful.
I have a question. This was Bali Maharaj's father, Virocana. Was he also a nice devotee? I mean,
It is actually mentioned when the Supreme Lord, we can go back to that verse actually, when the Supreme Lord was glorifying, he glorified Virocana as well. And that actually is in chapter number 19. Your great father, text chapter 19, text 14. Your great father Virocana was very affectionate towards Brahmanas. He knowingly gave the duration of his life to the demigods who came to him in the disguise of Brahmanas. So the entire story is not mentioned, but looks like he pretty much did similar activity to Bali Maharaj. Right? Chapter 19, text 14. Although he knew very well that it was the demigods who had come in the dress of Brahmanas, at their request he delivered to them the duration of his life. Wow, that's powerful. Certainly, it is not an ordinary thing. So we can certainly say that he did a similar, maybe not to that extent. Therefore, Virocana's case is not discussed in that detail. But he certainly did a lot, and maybe that's where Bali also got the quality, and that's the Supreme Lord glorifying. So whatever we know from this verse, so we can certainly say he was a great soul. Maybe not as much as Prahlad and Bali, therefore his name is not counted in that list. But certainly he was not an ordinary person either. That's my understanding. Does that help? Anyone has additions to that or any other comments? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. A small question, Prabhuji. In the last purport, it says that Vaman Devi brings the water of Ganges into material world. So I was just thinking, we also know that Bhagirath was doing tapasya to bring Mother Ganges to the earth. Are these two both connected, or they come in different yuga, Prabhuji?
Yeah, I think they are connected. Bhagirath brought it to the earthly planet, but this was the entry in the material world. So they came to upper planets at that point, which I have understood that Bhagirath was instrumental to getting Ganga up to even Patal Loka. Because the sons of Sagar, actually my wife has been reading and she was telling, you know the story, Sagar, Anshuman, and Anshuman, Asmanjas, Anshuman, and then Bhagirath came. So the 60,000 sons of Sagar were kind of burnt, and because Indra put the horse in the Patala Loka, and they made a tunnel all the way from the earthly planets went up to there, and then they were kind of burned by a rishi, and then Ganga was brought from the upper planets to the earthly planets there. So that is the connection to the best of my knowledge and what I have heard.
Yes, Prabhuji. I think it's Kapil Dev, I guess, Prabhuji. I'm not sure. It's Kapil Dev.
You are absolutely correct. Kapil Dev was doing tapasya.
Okay, Prabhuji. So my understanding from your answer, I can understand that Bhagirath brought it up to the Padalu, to the earthly planet.
Mm-hmm.
So here Vamandev made it to come into material world. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And somewhere, we see that different kalpas, different leelas. So sometimes there is no one answer to these questions, so we should not get confused by that also. Because Lord is unlimited, his leelas are also unlimited. Like I like that point Prabhupada makes. Sometimes he can come from water, sometimes he can come in 4th Manu, sometimes he can come in 6th Manu. What's the big deal for the Lord? Right? Talking about Vamandev. Sorry, Varahadev. So okay. Anyone else? Anything else before we stop? Okay, so we will pause here and continue with the next chapter tomorrow. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveti Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.